Hello everyone. Today we are going to read a story out of our big story Bible. Now this story is called The Passion of Christ. When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made plans against Jesus. They wanted to put him to death, so they bound him and tied him up. They led Jesus away to Pilate, the governor. Now, Jesus stood before the governor. The governor asked him, "Are you the King of Jews?" Jesus said, "You have said so." But he gave him no other answer. So the governor was greatly amazed. At the feast, the governor often released a prisoner whom the crowd wanted. The governor had a prisoner called Barabbas. He had killed people. So when the crowd gathered, Pilate said, "Whom do you want me to release for you?" They said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what shall I do with Jesus?" They all said, "Let him be crucified." And he said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Let him be crucified." So Pilate took water and washed his hands before the crowd. He said, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves." And all the people answered, "His blood be on us and on our children." Then Pilate released Barabbas. The soldiers of the governor took Jesus. They stripped him. They put a red robe on him. They twisted a crown of thorns. They put it on his head and put a reed in his right hand. And kneeling before him, they mocked him. They said, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And they spit on him and struck him on the head. Then the soldiers led Jesus away to crucify him. Do you see the picture of Jesus being crucified on the cross? Now, I have a paper here, and on this paper, I have some words. First, it says mad, then bad, sad, and glad, and then this says day. Now, as we start this next part of our story, I want you to listen and think of the words that I circle. So first, we circle the word mad. It was a mad, bad, sad, glad day. Jesus' enemies were mad at him. They wanted to get rid of him. But remember, it was not their fault alone that Jesus suffered. He died for the sins of the whole world. Next, we circle bad. It was a mad, bad, sad, glad day. The soldiers were bad to Jesus. They hurt him with a whip, with thorns, and with nails. But remember, Jesus took the punishment for all the bad things that we do. He did that so that we can have his forgiveness. Next, we circle sad. It was a mad, bad, sad, glad day. Jesus' friends were sad. Jesus' family was sad. We are sad too when we see Jesus on the cross. But remember, we can be happy knowing that he did this because he loves us and wants to save us. Next, we circle glad. It was a mad, bad, sad, glad day. We can be glad that because we know that a few days later, Jesus became alive at Easter. We can be glad because Jesus is the winner over sin and death. And remember, because of Jesus, we will live someday with him in heaven. So, it was a mad, bad, sad, glad day. It wasn't very glad at the time, but we know what the way that the story goes. So we know that it had a happy ending with Jesus coming alive again. Now, we need to remember that as we get closer and closer to the day that Jesus died, which is that special day called what, guys? Yes, Good Friday. Now, that is the day that he was crucified, but that's not the day that the story ends. Because remember, he comes back alive again in just a few short days after that. 3 days later, he rose again, and that day was Easter. We'll learn more about our story tomorrow, so I'll see you guys later.